Om Jnana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitam Deena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Radhati Swaparantikam Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Manchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Shivyo Namo Namah. So sometimes the devotees ask, why do you do like that? Jai Jai Sri Radhe Shyam. But there's actually Shastra Pramans for this. Just like sometimes we go on Braj Prikrama and we come to a place, what to speak of running water, there's not even a hand pump. Do you have any hand pumps left in Orlando? Nobody's seen one, huh? Sometimes not even hand pump is there, only well is there. And you guys, you don't know the village technology. You know this Bluetooth, iPhone, you know, all this technology, but you don't know village technology. What's so complicated? You take a rope, you tie it around the bucket, you throw the bucket in the well. So that's what they do. They tie the rope around the bucket, they throw the bucket in the well, and the rope is going through their hands. That's not how you do it. You don't know the village technology. There's a big knot at the end of the rope. And you grab onto the knot, you take the bucket, and you throw the bucket into the well, and then you pull the water out. So now bucket, rope, and everything gone in the well. So we have to give 300 rupees to the ashram to buy a new bucket and all. No, this happens sometimes. Every ashram has a special rope with so many hooks on it. To get something from a deep place, you need a hook. So they have a rope with so many hooks. They go down, they hook that bucket, and they pull it out. So the same way, this body is like a big well, but it's not full of water. It's full of pop. You know pop, Coca-Cola, 7-Up. Pop means sin. So to get all that sin, we need a hook. And this Ra Akshar, this Ra, he's shaped just like a hook. Or especially this, you're on the other side, I think so. This Ra in English, R, he's just like a hook. And according to Sangeet Shastra, this sound, Ra, Ra, you can feel it, it goes down, right? According to Sangeet Shastra, this sound goes down, Ra. Then the next letter is aspirated. Aspirated means breathing out. Radhe, so you can feel it. According to Sangeet Shastra, this letter goes up. This sound goes up. So we send that Ra down, Ra, we hook all of that pop. And then hey, we pull it all out. Hey, sham. And we say this ma akshar, this becomes closed, band. You pull it all out, now don't let it come back. Closed. Jai Jai Sri Radhe. So Dvaipada was asking about a special Leela yesterday. This happens in the end of a little village called Chiksoli. As most people, they go to Barsana, they go up all those stairs, get harassed by the pandas and come back down. They get harassed by more pandas. But when I take you to Barsada, we'll go around the whole Prikrama path. And on that Prikrama path, we come to a little village called Chiksoli. And Chiksoli is the village of Chitralekha. One of the Astasakis is Chitralekha, her village just next door to Barsana. So when we come to the village of Chiksoli, then we make a big kirtan just to enliven all the Chiksoli Vasis, all the Brishvasis who live in Chiksoli. So we go through the village with big Harinam party. But there's one intersection, and I have a very dear friend named Nandanlal Sharma. He lives there, right at the intersection on the left side. And his mother will not let me go past unless we take some braj roti. You know braj roti? You guys know chapatis. Huh? Very thin. And our Gujarati friends, they make them just as thin as a piece of paper. But Brishvasi, they don't use this machine, like this. This is attached. Nice and thick with homemade ghee or butter on top. So we're on Braj Prikrama, we just beg for Braj rotis. So she won't let us get past without getting some rotis. She'll give me the rotis and I'll rip them up and we'll give everybody a little piece of Braj roti. And then we continue on kirtan through the village. And we come to a little clearing. And there's a bit of a parking lot there. And just beyond that, there's a kund. It has many names. I learned it as Krishna Kund, because Krishna came there with his cows one time, and there was no water to drink for the cows. So he took a flute, and he dug out this kund with his flute, so it became known as Krishna Kund. So Krishna's flute is very handy, huh? For calling cows, for calling gopis, for digging kunds. Huh? Or we can go talk about wells. You go to Bhandu, he dug a well. It's called Benu Kup. He dug a well with his flute. It's a very practical flute. So it's also known as Radha Sarovar, and sometimes people call it Gevarkund. Because from there begins a very beautiful forest called Gevarvan. So anyway, Chiksoli is not only the village of Chitralekha Saki, it is also very famous for all types of milk products. Milk and ghee and butter and paneer and yogurt, all these nice milk products. And we know Krishna, he too much likes butter, makan. Too much likes makan. So one day, Krishna and all his friends, they were going from one house to the next, looking for some house where no gopi is home. They were peeking in the window. So they saw one house, no gopi was at home. So they all went around to the front door and they came inside and began to drink all the milk and yogurt and eat all the butter and have a grand old time. Because I have still seen villages in Bharat where nobody bothers to put lock. Nobody needs a lock. We live in places we put lock on everything. Just like everybody, a lot of people dream is to go live in New York, the Big Apple. But if you go to visit your friend, you can't even get into the building. There's a whole list of buttons, and you push the button next to your friend's address, and then a little voice comes, who's there? And when you identify yourself, then this horrible sound comes. As long as that sound is there, then you can open the door and get inside the building. Then you have to take the elevator up to the 44th floor. Because everybody in New York lives up. Because I remember when I was a kid, and I wanted to go out and play, I said, Mom, I'm going out. In New York, they tell their mother, Mom, I'm going down. So you take the elevator up to the 44th floor, then you find out your friend's address, and you push the button there, and then there's a little piece of glass if something gets dark. There's somebody who's there. And once they recognize you, then you hear all the locks. People live in such fear. They think this is nice. Just like somebody was telling the other day that the old ladies you'll see, if you go to Braj, you'll see them going around picking up cow dung. And the modern girls, they think, oh, this is backward. But we see them walking their dogs and picking up dog. So who's backward? So anyway, they just went inside and had a great old time. That gopi happened to come home. She heard some noise from her window, and she peeked and she saw what was going on inside. So she went around to the front door, and those of you who've been to India, you see we don't have one door like this. We always have two doors like this, and there's a bolt on the outside, and there's a bolt on the inside. So she put the bolt on the outside. Means who's ever inside, now he can't get. And she ran to call all the other gopis, and we caught this rascal. So Krishna, he also heard that sound. He knows the meaning. He looked all around, he went out the window. So all the cowherd boys, they ran and they jumped out. Ping, 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 jumped out the window. Except there's one friend of Krishna, one of Krishna's sakhas, is Madhumangal. And first of all, Madhumangal, he's lame. He couldn't run like the other cowherd boys. He couldn't climb like the other cowherd boys. And the other thing, although he's one of Krishna's sakhas, he's one of Krishna's friends, he's not a gopa, he's a Brahmin. And our Braj Brahmins don't tend to be very skinny fellows. So somehow he made it to the other side of the room. He climbed up to go out the window, but he got stuck. Meanwhile, the gopis came back. They opened up the door, they came inside, and ha, we got you. And nobody's there, just this fat friend of Krishna's. So they pulled him out of the window. Boop. Then they took some flower garlands and tied his hands behind his back. And then they took a string and they tied it around his sika and they threw it over the branch of a tree. So now we got hostage. You thought this hostage taking was a new thing, huh? This has been going on for the last 5,000 years at least. He said, now we got hostage. So you have a hostage and you have some demand. So they said, now you call your friend Krishna here. And they pulled on that string. Ooh, Kiniya! Ooh, Krishna! Ooh, Kana! So Krishna, he heard Madhumangal crying, so he came running to the spot. And he became very angry. He said, Arai, what have you done? Don't you know, this Madhumangal, he may be one of my friends, he's my sakha, but he's not a gopa, he's a Brahmin. Now you done Brahmanaparad. Now your health, your wealth, and your beauty will all be finished. And what do little girls worry about? They worry about everything. Okay, got it. Health and wealth and beauty. So they all became very frightened. Oh, Shamsundar, what can we do? How can we get free from this aparad? So we thought for one moment. He said, you make a nice asan for Madhumangal. So when you get to Krishna Kund, you'll see on the opposite side of the Kund, there's a beautiful asan there. This is the asan of Madhumangal. You make a nice asan for Madhumangal. You go to your houses. You find out as many laddus as you have in your house. You bring all those laddus. You feed them to Madhumangal. He'll forget all about the aparad. He will give you ashirvad. Ashirvad means blessing. What blessing? Manokamana. Whatever is the dearmost desire of your heart. And what is the dearmost desire in the heart of all the gopis? That somehow or other Krishna become pleased with them. And that is Krishna consciousness in a nutshell. Why are we chanting Hare Krishna? Why do we come to the temple? We take prasad just so Krishna will become pleased with us. We associate with the devotees. We read Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. We come to Mangalarti at least on Janmashtami and Gurpurnima. And we're doing all these things just so Krishna will become pleased with us. Simple. Krishna consciousness is very simple. You just keep this little formula in your brain and you're always Krishna conscious. Whatever you're doing, you think, am I doing this so that Krishna will become pleased with me? Or am I doing this so I'll please my senses? Simple. You keep this simple formula. We make everything complicated. But Krishna consciousness is very simple. Whatever we're doing, we're just doing so that Krishna will become pleased with us. So now Madhumangal, his belly is full, he's eaten so many laddus. He won't see what is your good quality, what is your bad quality, he won't see anything. So whatever benediction you take from Madhumangal now. Shri Madhumangal ki jai! I can't see the clock, how much time we have?
35. Another moment.
Okay, nice. So, and around Krishna Kund we see many, many huge, tall trees shading it, keeping it water nice and cool there. And there's so many steps down to the Kund. And we usually have everyone, at least we invite those people who are young. You go down and bring some water from the Kund for those of us who are young at heart, but we don't appreciate steps so much anymore. So they go down and bring some water and sprinkle on all of us. And we see some of those trees are huge people trees. Just like I was very pleased, I came here and we saw one people tree. And we were telling last night the people tree is very, very special, because when Krishna saw people tree, he said, Are Maya, what kind of tree is this? What's leaf has got a tail? What kind of tree is this? What's leaf has got a tail? Ye kain ki pere Maya, ye kain ki pere, jiske pate ki poonche Maya, ye kain ki pere, jiske pate ki poonche. You can see how you're in front, shaped like a heart, and comes down to a little poonch, little tail. Somebody sort of looked, he said, oh Lala, this is people tree. So you see huge people trees, and if you're lucky you'll see these big beehives hanging in the people trees. Big, huge beehives, just amazing how big they are. They're way up in the tree where nobody can get them. One time on the 500th anniversary of Mahaprabhu, that particular time, we had a huge parikrama. So we divided it up into groups. It was like 3 different groups, so that we could comfortably do parikrama. Somehow, the little Brijvasi boys, they took some rocks and threw them at the beehives. We were the last group, all the other 2 groups, they got it. One poor sannyasi, he didn't have his kurta, he just had his uttariya, Oh, he had like 27 stings. We were lucky, we were in the last group. By that time the bees had, taken their revenge, and they were still buzzing around, and we put our chadars over our head and covered our arms and everything. Shoot the chadar. The big beehives are here. Madhumaki chat. That's what we call beehive. And so much honey. Because Radharani, she's known as Madhumati. Madhumati means whose bhav is like ghee, like honey. Most people, their bhav is like water. It's like water, if you have water in a glass and you pour it, and you go like that, it stops. It really stops. Chandavali, her bhav is like ghee. It's like you're pouring ghee, and you pull it up like that, a few little bits, it keeps coming out of the cup. But if you pour honey, when you turn it back, it still keeps going. So Radharani's bhav towards Krishna is like that. Even if she tries to stop, it just keeps going. She's Madhumati. So from there we enter into the Gavarvan forest. The forest on the back of Barsana is called Gavarvan. That's why that kund also known as Gavar Kund. And from there, after we pass the kund, we enter into the Gavarvan forest. And there you see very special trees that we never see on the plain. Most trees, they like the low place because the water will flow down, isn't it? So most trees are on the plains. But these trees, you only see them on top of Govardhan, on top of Nandagam, on top of Barsana. In Brijbasa, we call Dhau. Dhau, D-H-A-U, Dhau. And right now it's rainy season in Vrindavan. Just like a few days before, I guess it was 27th, was a very special holiday, very special festival in Braj called Haryali Tej. Haryali means greenery. Because now, since this Shravan month started, rains have come, and we're getting the reports. And one of my very good friends from Nandagam, he told me, in 30 years we haven't had rain like this. So everything is very, very green. And all those dough trees, they have beautiful tiny little leaves, just like emerald drops. It looks like emerald leaves. And they hang like this over the path, this little stone path. We walk on that stone path, and these trees are there on either side, hanging over little emerald drops. Later on in the season, yellow topaz flowers will come. And then by the end of the rainy season, by Kartik time, then you'll see little red ruby seeds on these dough trees. And if you come in December, then you'll find gold leaf trees. All trees with little beautiful gold leaves. And if you come in January, then you'll find copper leaf trees. All beautiful little copper leaf trees. And if you come in Gaur Purnima time, then you won't find any leaves. And that time means the sun is getting very hot. Everybody's crying, we started out from Prabhu's house, it said 93. I said, that's just springtime for us in Vrindavan. We don't get worried till it gets to 115. That's our summer. And I've seen 50, what is 50? It must be 139 or something. So the sun is getting bright, and the bark of those trees is very light. So it looks like a whole forest of silver filigree trees. And as soon as it gets hot, because whole winter there's no wind. Unless there's a big thunderstorm, that sometimes there's wind blowing the rain everywhere. But otherwise the wind is off. But as soon as it gets warm, Krishna turns on the fan. So then on the back of the hill especially, the breeze comes. And you hear it rushing through the branches of the dough trees. Like this. Hmm? It's a very, very mystical forest. Because ordinarily there's so many rocks are there, and ordinarily if you take one rock and you hit another rock, it goes clack, 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 clack. Hmm? But if you're in the right consciousness and you take a rock in Gebervan and you hit it on another rock, ding, 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 just like Uncle Bells. Very, very mystical forest. And here and there we'll see a very special tree called Kareel. And Kareel, he has not one single leaf. If you see any leaves on it, this is some creepers crawling through. But not one single leaf, only little green twigs and very, very sharp thorns. Very sharp thorns. The Brijvasis, they say, Kata Buru Kareel ko, or Bararoti Gam, Sot Guri Chunki, or Sahajike Kam. Kata, because thorns, they cut you, so we call them kata in Hindi. Kata Buru Kareel ko. The worst thorn is this Kareel. This is a Brijvasi that talks about 4 things that will give you lots of pain. One is this Kareel. Kata Buru Kareel ko, or Bararoti Gam. For cloud, we say badal in Hindi, but the Brijvasis move their R's and L's around so it becomes butter. Bararoti Gam. In Hindi we say dup, sunshine. But they say, in Brijvasa we say Gam. So that sunshine that comes between the clouds means the rainy season sunshine. Because when you come to Vrindavan in the summertime, it may be very hot, but it's very dry and there's so much haze and dust in the sky. You can tolerate the sun. You can't tolerate the heat, but you can tolerate the sunshine. But rainy season comes, all the dust is washed out of the sky. It's like here, we came out of the house, we went into the sun, like arrows, like Lord Ramachandra shooting his 40,000 his arrows at the 40,000 rovers of the night. The sun is coming in, ding. So this kata, he's also very painful. Kata Buru Kareel ko, or Bararoti Gam, this rainy season sunshine, he's very painful. Sot Buri Chunki. Soteli means to take a second wife. Sot Buri Chunki. If you take a second wife in the presence of your living wife, that will also cause you a lot of pain. You can ask Dasarath about that. Sot Buri Chunki, or Sahajike Kam. Doing business in partnership. You read any book on business, it'll talk about there's sole proprietor and partnership and corporation, and now there's something called LLC, limited liability company, and so many things. But every book on business will tell you, whatever you do, don't get in a partnership. It always ends in pain. So Kata Buru Kareel ko, or Bararoti Gam, Sot Buri Chunki, or Sajike Kam. Doing business with friends or relatives in partnership somehow will give you a big pain. So this tree, you'll see it, not one single leaf, just little green twigs. This is the original tree of Braj. When they were in Dwarka, and anytime Rohini, she was also in Braj. So sometimes in Dwarka she talks about Braj, and Kamsa's mother, Padmavati, she becomes very upset. Oh, why do you want to talk about that old thorn forest? And the poor guy was a little hungry, he took a little butter, they pulled his ear, they chased him with sticks, tied him with ropes. Why do you want to talk about that thorn forest? This is the original tree that's Braj is famous for this tree. But just in the month before Kartik, beautiful reddish orange flowers will come in, like a spray, because these green twigs, they go all over like this. And just sprays and sprays of reddish orange flowers. It looks almost like a burning bush. Maybe this was what Moses saw, Because Braj is just on the edge of the Rajasthan desert, so it's almost desert-like place. beautiful reddish orange. And then as soon as the flowers go away, the little green beads come and they grow and grow and grow. And they look, little green fruits come. And if you ever take prasadam at a Brishbasi's house and they serve you some achar, some pickle, it looks like great big green peas. That's probably tenti achar. Because it's so nice. We break Braj rotis and tenti achar when we're on Braj Trikuna. And this tenti achar is favorite of the Brishbasi. In fact, in the Brahma Vimohan Leela, it talks about Lord Brahma, after Krishna wound up his whole display, you just saw Krishna standing there holding a handful of chipped rice, yogurt, and Bhagavatam says phalam. With the Brishbasis, they told me that that's one of their favorites, is chipped rice, yogurt, and then you put some tenti achar on top. So this is what Lord Brahma saw. He's holding this white yogurt with, white chipped rice with a little white yogurt on it, and this tenti achar was there, and between his blue lotus fingers, this yellow mustard oil was dripping. This is what Lord Brahma saw. So we'll see here along the path, we'll see a few of these little trees like this. Hare Krishna. And if we look up from Krishna Kund, we'll see there's a little round temple on top. And there's little archways, and in the archways, all around the top of the temple, you see like a turret in a castle, you'll see peacocks. There's little archways like this, and there's peacocks. So, this place is known as Moor Kutir. You know more, what you say in English when you went extra prasadam, huh? No, Moor means peacock. So this is called Moor Kutir. What happened was Krishna was seeing that Radharani and the Sakhis were on top of this hill, and they were watching something. So Krishna climbed up there, and he saw that Radharani and the Sakhis were watching the dancing of the peacocks. So then Krishna, he also danced just like a peacock. And Krishna was dancing, and peacock was dancing, and Krishna was dancing, and peacock was dancing. Then he came for Vishwananandani, and she said, "Oh, you dance very nicely, but this peacock dances nicer than you." So then again, Krishna was dancing, and peacock was dancing, and Krishna was dancing. Then he came before Srimati Radhika, and she said, "That was much better, but this peacock dances nicer than you." So then Radharani became Morni. If Mor means peacock, then Morni means?
Good.
Peahen, yes. And then Radha and Krishna began to dance as Mor and Morni. And there's a beautiful painting in this temple. This little tiny shrine with this little turret on top with the peacocks on top of it. All the decoration, he has peacock tiles. Somewhere he found tiles with peacocks. All the walls, and there's paintings of peacocks and everything. And this beautiful painting is there. They never lit pictures, but somehow over the years we snuck some pictures. Beautiful painting. This painting was painted by a sadhu in Nimbarka Sampradaya. It's like, there's 4 Sampradayas, Nimbarka Sampradaya, and Sri Sampradaya, and, which is Ramanuja, and we're in Gaudiya Sampradaya, Brahma Sampradaya. So, Nimbarka Sampradaya, when sadhu was there, and he was doing his bhajan, he got a vision of this pastime. He happened to be an artist. And Radharani told him, if you paint this pastime, as long as you paint, you will see this pastime before your very eyes. So this very beautiful painting there inside this temple. Very, very sweet place. More Kutir. And from up there, you can see all around the whole Braj Mandal. And now it's so nice because now all the fields are green, it's raining like anything, the fields are green, everything. And you can see it just doesn't look like part of this material world. And Prabhupada always emphasized that this Brajadam is not different from that Golok Dham. They're not different. This Brajadam, every bird, bee, animal, person, everybody has something to do with Krishna's Leela. So then somebody always asks, what about snake? It's like here in Florida we have lots of snakes. My wife told me when she was young, teenager, she used to go with her hip boots with her boyfriends into the swamps and they would shoot shoot snakes. So anyway, so they always ask what about snake, and sometimes in the Goshala when a cobra will come out. So one time Krishna misbehaved with Radharani and she became furious. And she ran away and she was fleeing down the path, just flying, and Krishna couldn't catch her. So then, coming down the path was this big black cobra. The big black cobra. He saw some little girl that's going to run on top of me. He stood up and went, and Radharani turned and ran and screaming back into the arms of Sri Krishna. So even black snake cobra has something to do with such a wonderful place. And eventually we come to Dan Mandir. Dangar and Dan Mandir. There's another, just like Lord Brahma has 4 heads, this hill has 4 peaks. Because this hill is incarnation of Lord Brahma. We call Brahmachal. Because all the mountains we say Achal. It's like when you come to Braj and go on Prikamu with me, I'm behind you all day. Chalo, 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 chalo. But the mountains, they don't chalo, so they're Achal. Himachal, Nilachal, Vindhyachal. So this hill is incarnation Lord Brahma. It's called Brahmachal. And as Brahma has 4 heads, it has 4 peaks. So one of these peaks, it's called Dangar. And from Dangar, we can look across and see another hill. In fact, that hill is known as Bilaskar. And it's actually incarnation of Krishna because he can't live far away from Radharani. So he's incarnated as a hill called Bilaskar. So you look across the valley, you see this Bilaskar. Then you can see there's a big Hindol there. We call it Jula, but in Brijbasa we say Hindol. These 2 big columns with this rod in between. Because just in a few days, well, actually the Brijbasi, they started since that Hariyali Tej, the 3rd day of the month of Shravan, they started already a Julan Yatra in many temples in Banki Bihari and Banki only does one day, that on the Hariyali Tej day. And but Barsana every day now they're doing Julan Yatra. Many temples are doing Julan Yatra since that 3rd day. We don't start till Ekadasi tomorrow. We start the Julan Yatra for Radha Govinda. So I've lived for more than 40 years in Braj. I've seen that during Shravan, this month, rainy season, first month of rainy season, the young girls, they go home to visit their parents. I don't know about South India, but anyway, Northern India is very common. So in the rainy season, Radharani's in Barsana. In Kartik, she's in Javad. The rainy season, she comes home here. So it's more difficult for Krishna to come and see her. So he's always figuring out some way. So Radharani's feeling sad because she can't meet with Krishna so easily. So the gopis, they were swinging her on this swing on top of that Bilaskar hill. A nice breeze, that's why this time of year they do Julan Yatra. Because the breeze that comes in the rainy season is so cooling and sweet. So they're swinging her in the swing. And then the gopis, they look down, there's a little path just at the bottom of the hill. And they saw one unknown gopi was coming. Very blackish gopi. She had a beautiful sari and her sari pulled over her face like this, and she was coming on the path. And Lalita and Visakha, they went down and said, come. They brought her up to Srimati Radharani on top of the hill. And Radharani said, my dear sister, why are you standing there? Come here and swing with me. So then Lalita and Visakha, they sat that unknown Saki next to Radharani on the swing. By now you probably guessed who our unknown Saki is. Now he's got his desire. He's sitting right next to Radharani. His heart is going ping, 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 ping. He fainted. He fainted, and all the Lalita Visakha, they came. They said, oh, what's the matter? What's the matter? When they went like this, ordinarily, if we touched here on a woman, it was very soft. But they felt something hard. And they reached under her sari and they pulled out Krishna's flute. Then they unmasked him, and then they sat him down, and they, from the Kadasi up to the Purnima, Balaram Purnima, they did the Julan Yatra of Radha Govinda. So that is a pastime that's coming up in a few days from tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow is Julan Yatra of Radha Govinda. And this beautiful place is known as Bilaskar. So we'll probably put our voice to rest here. If there's any questions, we can try to answer them. Yes.
Thank you so much for the wonderful class. And my daughter, you mentioned that it's not working. That we saw you at Vrindavan. We try to visit every other year. But no, it's not. Hare Krishna.
Okay, now it's good.
Yeah, so it's like really eager to meet you here. We're so fortunate. Very wonderful class. And we've always seen you at Mangal Aarti at the Krishna Balram temple. We were amongst the crowd, my daughter and me. So, like, Prabhuji, you mentioned about parikrama a lot of times. So, long parikrama, different parikramas are there. What is the significance behind parikrama?
Well, parikrama is to, thank you for pronouncing it correctly. Everybody says parikram. We went to parikram. Kram means a schedule of hard work, so parikram means a big schedule of hard work. But the long A it's a long A in the end. You can't drop it. You know, it's like people say Arjun because everybody in Hindi we drop the last short A's, but long A's you can't drop. So it's prikrama. Thank you for pronouncing it correctly. Parikram. I went on parikram. So that means to visit the holy places, pilgrimage. Or it can also be just to walk around, you know, walking around. It's like I go on a whole Prikrama Barsana. We go all around the Prikrama path. And usually in Ekadasi you see everyone doing the Prikrama path around Vrindavan town. I used to go every Ekadasi. And now I'm too old, I can't do it anymore. But it takes 16 rounds and a couple extra. You start. And in the Kartik season and cold season, we would go after Prasadam. We would go. And in the hot season, then we go right after Mangalarti. We come back just in time for Darshanarti. So Prikrama means to pilgrimage, to visit the holy places.
Thank you so much.
There's no other questions. We have our latest book with us, Raj Leela Part 3, Giriraj, the King of Mountains. In Part 1 and 2, which is out of print, but is still available on Amazon, they'll print one and send it to you. But we went around the whole Braj Bhandu Prikrama, so we just stopped, mentioned a few places on Govardhan. But I thought Govardhan deserves a whole book by itself. You know? And the other two books, maybe 10 or 12 pictures. But everyone loves the photography of my dear friend Arta Bhandu, Arjun Bhattacharya, you know, on Facebook. Mm. So we decided to make it a picture book. So we have 284 color pictures. It's all, the whole book is glossy paper. 284 pictures, color pictures. And 32 paintings. Oh my goodness. We had to get special permission from BBT to use the paintings. And you'll be surprised at how many places there are, because everybody does Olympics. They run around the hill, and they see Radhakund and Kusum Sarovar and Govindakund. There's dozens of places and dozens of pastimes. You'll be amazed how many places there are. And we did a lot of research. We went through whole Braj Bhakti Vilas describes the pranam mantras and ashram mantras for every place in Braj. And one whole chapter just on Govardhan. And we tried to find places that he gives mantras for, but nobody knows where those places are. Even in 500 years, some places are lost. So at least now we have a visual record. Whatever is known, it is in this book. And you'll be surprised how many pastimes. 1/3 of the book is just Radhakund. There's so many wonderful pastimes in Radhakund. So 530 pages of nectar, 284 color prints, 32 color paintings, and we're only asking a small donation of $25. And we don't need cash. We can take credit cards and QR codes and any way, anyhow you want to pay for it. And then I'm here this afternoon, this evening, to sign it for you if you want to take a copy home with you. So after I don't know when, but sometime during the rest of the program, if you want a book, you can see Arjun Bhattacharya, and I'll sign it for you. How much time we have left? I can't see.
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Good. Question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
You are really Vrajvasi, pure Vrajvasi. With your associations, actually my experience with you in 2011, when I was in Vrindavan, and we went for that, I forget the name, where every Amavas and Monday from that well.
Oh, Bandirvan.
Yeah, Bandirvan.
Bandirvan.
Yeah.
When Amavasya comes on a Monday, we call it Somavati Amavasya.
Somavati Amavasya. Yeah.
And in Venukut, we were talking about Venukut, that well that Krishna made with his flute.
Yeah.
Then Nuk comes in the well.
Yeah. Otherwise, all the rest of that is just water.
Yeah.
So, particularly that Bandir one, I had associations with you, and I really appreciate your Krishna Katha in that one. It is so detailed, right? I enlighten a lot. And
And we know a place near Bandirvan where you can see Vrindavan as it used to be. We just stop, there's a little kund, just near, not far from Bandirvan. If you know where to turn, you go to a little kund called, what's it called? Shamtalai. The villagers call it Shamtalai. Talab means tank. So the villagers, they say Shamtalai. And just you go through the gate after Shamtalai, and you just see forests, banyan trees and peepal trees and neem trees, and papri trees, and kadamba trees, and so many tamal trees, beautiful black tamal trees. And you get totally lost. One time we went off to the left, and we came to, and you'll see little sadhus have their little grass shacks there, mud houses with grass roofs, and they have caves underneath for in the hot season. It's nice and cool in the earth. And we went to the left, so we passed from ashram. We'd never been there before, and suddenly the whole sky became green with parrots. You couldn't see the sky because they had been feeding the parrots, and we came and it was disturbed, and the whole sky was just green with parrots, and they all circled around and realized we were Vaishnavas, so they came back and behaved again. And the Baba who lived there, he knew me from nothing. I was, oh, Deena Baba, what are you doing here? Very beautiful, you'll see, because Vrindavan now looks more like your Orlando than Vrindavan. But there's so many places still left where you can just...
So we were about 50, 60 people, and you baked the helm for us from that villagers.
Yeah.
And someone gave the roti, someone gave, a lot of people they contributed, and later on, with your lotus hand, you distribute the prasad. And I was in the line, last person, and I got the small piece of roti and locally made achari. After having that prasad, I don't know, I was in totally ecstasy mood.
Yeah, one time another place in Java, we collected 150 rotis. Just going down the hill, we were walking to Tirkadam, just down the hill of Java. We held out we tied our gumsha around our back, one side, and one side held it like this, and we collected 150 rotis, one for everyone. And where we stopped, the villagers, they started serving out chach to all of us. So we have roti and chach. Chach, because in Braj, we take the whole milk, and churn it into butter. And what's left over, that's the real